All right, good morning. Good morning. It is 9:33 and I am going to call the meeting to order. We'll first start off by having the preamble read. Madam Secretary?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this Monday, January 13th. In compliance with notification requirements of City's open meeting law and Section 101.021 of the Codified Ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note that call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak on a particular matter have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comments on a particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. We will now do a roll call, please.
Ms. Holzer?
Present.
Milka?
Present.
Ms. Fay? She's still muted.
She is.
Mr. Madison is not present yet. And Ms. Wilson?
Present.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum with 4 members. I should state for the record and to the appellants that with 4 members, the appellant risks a tied vote. In the event of a tied vote, the variance is denied. In order to have the motion passed, you must have a vote of 3 members. Therefore, at this time, if the appellant would like to request a postponement to the future when we would have 5 members, they may, or they can feel free to wait to see if Mr. Madison is going to join us. We haven't heard otherwise, Madam Chair. It is up to the appellant at this time.
Okay, any appellants who would like to postpone due to lack of 5 members? All right, hearing none, we will proceed and call the first case. Or first, let me ask, do we have any postponements?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We do have one. In fact, we have 2. I apologize.
Okay.
First one is calendar number 24-159 regarding the appealing the decision of Building and Housing regarding boarding invoices. And this address is 2380 East 40th Street. The appellant has requested more time to review details, and I believe he stated that he wanted to acquire discovery. I think that's the word that he used. And so he has requested 60 days.
Okay.
And we have identified March 24th as the date for that.
Okay, that is acceptable. Let's go on and put it on that date. Do we have any other postponements?
We do have one. That's calendar number 24-213 at 3275 West 117th Street. David Tarditi, owner, proposed to establish use of or change use from auto body and print shop to auto rental and minor service garage. The appellant is working with the community and needs more time. I believe that he said that he has a date of January 15th to meet with the community.
Okay.
And so would like to be on the February 3rd agenda.
Okay, let's put them on the
That-
February
That
3rd.
works for us, yes.
Perfect. All right, any other postponements?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not sure. I would defer to Mr. Bay.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Xavier Bay, representing City Planning. We had communication with the applicant for calendar number 24-188 at 3122 West Boulevard. This case requires conditional uses from City Planning Commission. We scheduled them for their first hearing at City Planning Commission, and the outcome of the meeting was that the commission had asked for a postponement to allow the applicant to proceed with community outreach before they move forward with their hearing. And so that community outreach has taken place, but their second hearing for City Planning Commission has not occurred yet. And so we would ask that just due to a smooth process to allow this applicant to be heard by City Planning Commission prior to or before their Board of Zoning Appeals hearing for the variances. And that's primarily because should the City Planning Commission decide to deny their conditional use, they can also appeal their conditional use with their variances needed for this body.
Understood. How long will it take for them to get a meeting before the commission?
I've been in communication with the applicant and stated that we can schedule them for the next City Planning Commission hearing, which is, I believe it's actually this Friday.
Okay.
And so I communicated this with the applicant and hadn't necessarily heard back if they wanted to decrease their participants to allow them to bypass the need for a City Planning Commission hearing. And that's primarily because when they're proposing over 5 participants in their state licensed residential facility, that triggers the need for a conditional use approval from City Planning Commission. And so if the applicant decides to decrease their count to 5 or less participants, they would no longer need the City Planning Commission hearing and therefore would not need to be postponed today.
Okay. So should we give them 2 weeks or should we give them more time?
Yes, Madam Chair, 2 weeks would be enough for, we're planning to have their hearing this Friday, so.
Okay. All right. Are we okay for 2 weeks?
We are full on February 3rd
Okay.
and the 27th, so the soonest date would be February 10th.
Okay. Let's put them on February 10th then.
Calendar number 24-188. 3122 West Boulevard is postponed to February 10th. Their testimony will be taken at the time. Yeah,
A good point. Is there an appellant present for calendar number 24-188?
one person.
All of you guys are here for that case? Okay.
And I took off one.
To be here. Oh, my gosh. And no appellant. None of you are the property owner.
So I have 9 letters to residents near there. There's more or two are here, but so we have all an objection residents here.
Okay, so we don't have an appellant here, unfortunately.
Madam Chair, we do accept written
The letters.
correspondence.
Okay.
So the neighbors can contact us via email. And the council person will be here as well as his assistant to express your concerns.
Okay.
Would you like these letters now?
Yeah, we can take them and put them in the file. Yeah,
Yeah, these for the city planning.
that makes sense as well. Yes.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
So do you have, to the neighbors in the audience through the chair, does everyone have our contact, the Board of Zoning Appeals contact information? It is on the letter, the paper copy letter that you received. Otherwise, Madam Chair, I do have
You have a
business
yes,
cards that I
yes,
can give
we
you that you
give
can
those.
email us
Absolutely.
information. Or that.
Okay, so she's going to give you all contact information. Please feel free to submit your letters of opposition to the secretary, and we'll call this case again on the next scheduled date, which is February 10th.
February 10th.
Correct. So sorry that you all had to come all the way down here without.
It's a nice warm day.
I know. I know.
Excuse me,
Yes,
Madam-
it is email us.
It's a calling user, and if we can get confirmation that this calling user is
Yes.
applicant, that'd be good.
Okay, we have someone online with the name call-in user 1. Can you please identify yourself?
Hi, yes, Jessica Ruff.
Oh, I can see your name. Thank you so much, Jessica Ruff. There's
Oh,
an,
okay, sorry.
uh-huh,
Thank you.
no problem. There's another attendee with the username call-in user 1. Are you able to send them a ping or ask them to unmute? I don't know if you can do that when they're calling in as opposed to video in.
It's like they're already unmuted.
Yeah.
I would also, excuse me, I would also mention, if you are calling in, I believe *6 is the dial in to unmute.
Yes, we are here. We're with Karen Stewart trustees. I don't know of our calendar number though, so that we can speak when we're called on, but we are here.
What is the
one-
address of the property you're here for?
1469 East 116th, Cleveland,
Got it.
Ohio. 44.
Oh, okay, thank you. So this is not that case. All right, so we don't have an appellant. We'll postpone calendar number 24-188 to February 10th. And just so that you all know, this Friday will be the date of the hearing before the Planning Commission. So please feel free to show up there as well.
Thanks. Yep, excuse me, Madam Chair, this is Xavier Bay from City Planning. This Friday, January 17th at 9 a.m., we start the City Planning Commission hearing in this room. You can also attend virtually by reaching out to City Planning staff for a WebEx link.
All right, we're gonna go and call the next case.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for being here, you all. Take care.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, we're gonna call the next case, which is 24-212. Do we have an appellant present for this matter?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here for that one.
Oh, you're here for that one. Very good. All right, and we'll also let the record reflect that our 5th board member, Mr. Marcus Madison, is now present. So we do have 5 members available here. So I will ask Nina to go ahead and read this case into the record, please.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, did you want Mr. Madison to go through the order of the hearing before we
No,
start?
it's okay. You can go ahead and read it in.
My second question, Madam Chair, is who would you like to have do the oath today?
I can do the oath. I know it's a little difficult to do it when you're online. You okay with that, Board Member Roca? You kind of broke up. I didn't catch that. Feel nothing. I can see your lips moving, but we don't get any sound from you. Even more reason for me to go ahead and do the oath. So why don't we go ahead and have you read it in, Nina, and I'll do the oath for today. Okay, we can see your message, Board Member Roca. We'll see you when you get back shortly.
Sounds good. Our first case is calendar number 24-212. This is at 2417 Professor Street. Mark LaGrange, owner, proposes to install a projecting sign in a C2 general retail business district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. And with that, I will hand it back over to you, Madam Chair, for the oath.
Okay, thank you so much. I am swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? You raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address, and I'll start with you, Ms. Ruff.
I do. Jessica Ruff, RUFF, like Frank, 295 West Prospect, Painesville, 44077.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anyone else present for this case?
I don't believe so. I don't see him or her on.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1936, there was a 2-story addition made to the building on the site. There is one variance on file, Madam Chair, in calendar number 24-059, and this was affirmed on May 20th, 2024. Alex Guadano, new owner at the time, proposed to establish use as Cilantro Restaurant and a C1 general retail business. The owner appealed for relief from the strict application of section 349.04F, which stated that 21 off-street parking spaces were required and no parking was proposed. This hearing was held on May 13th. I'm not sure if you want me to read in any of the testimony. The appellant did state at that time that they acquired a parking agreement with Tremont Park, a nearby business. And that was granted without any conditions. And again, that was ratified on May 20th, 2024. And we do see that this appeal continued through the process and acquired the essential permits. That's all that I have that's relevant. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Secretary Legal, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting an area variance from the sign requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Now that we've heard that, can we now go to Ms. Ruff? Can you please tell us about your request?
Yes, ma'am. I just want to first off say I do apologize. We did submit for this one back on January 8th of 2024. I have a B number and it did go through planning landmarks, and for some reason, once it got to zoning, I don't know what happened, but it's 100% our fault, and I do apologize for this. With that said, it is a 3.4 by 8.4 sign. Overall, it sticks off from the building 8.8. It is internally illuminated, as shown. It does have additional brackets on the building, and this is just for to hold the sign behind the building. There wasn't enough structure, so we had to add structure to that. I just have a couple comments. I didn't know, as far as just seeing the sign now, if we painted the brackets to match the building. I think that would help tremendously, just the overall look. Just seeing that, I don't know if you could pull up that photo. It shows it as black. Those should be painted to match the building. There was one that was showing it already existing. Sorry. I think it was one of the first ones. Yeah, there it is. You can kind of see how that's black brackets. We would paint that so it matches the building. So that should have been painted. I'm not sure why that was not. So again, I do apologize. And if there's any questions or anything I can help out with at all, I've never been through this, so I don't know what all you need from me.
That's okay. So it's showing that the sign is proposed to be 29.25 square feet. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and can you state why it would be necessary for the sign to be that size as opposed to the size that's required in the code?
So I can show you, I could submit a 12 square foot sign. It just decreases the size of the overall sign tremendously with his logo. He wanted to use that same logo, so we just did it to our best ability as far as the size goes. It is, I know you do have the code reading 12 square feet, but this, just for us doing signs all the time, this isn't that large for someone traveling on that road, in our experience.
Okay, so it sounds like visibility is an important reason for you all to have a larger sign. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. I'll move now to any questions from the board.
Madam Chair, this is Board Member Roca. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Great. I have no question. Just want to make sure that I'm being heard. Thank you.
Perfect. So much. All right, Mr. Bay, any opinions from city planning?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Xavier Bay, representing City Planning. I did get notice from the city planner for this area, Brittany Pavone, as she is in support of the sign. The main premise is because throughout Tremont, there is a precedent for larger than 12 square foot projecting signs, and so for that reason, it's a context supportive case, so we don't mind their signage here.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Bay. All right, if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Madam Chair, I move that calendar number 24-212 is approved.
Okay, any second?
I'll second. Board Member Faith?
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Faith. Can we call the roll?
Yes.
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 Calendar number 24-212 is granted. Will be ratified when we meet again on January 27th. Once we ratify it, we will send you a letter. Contact us that following Wednesday for further instruction.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Secretary. Thank you for being here, Ms. Ruff. You are all set to go.
Thank you again, and I do so apologize for this. It won't happen again. So I'm
No
just
worries.
very thankful for you guys. So thank you.
All right, have a good day.
Great. Thank you guys.
Next, we're calling calendar number 24-214.
Our next case is calendar number 24-214. This is at 1469 East 116th Street. Karen Stewart, trustee, owner, proposes to establish use as a residential facility for 5 or fewer residents in a 2-family B1 residential district. The owner appeals for relief from a strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. And with that, Madam Chair, I'll hand it back over to you for the oath.
Thank you so much, Ms. Holzer. All right, I will swear in all who are present for this matter. I know that we have someone listed as call-in user 1. I'll swear you in first. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
I do.
I do as well.
I am Terry McLean, one of the trustees, and I have with me Karen Stewart, a trustee as well.
Okay.
Address. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said the address. Okay, we're here.
Yes, please, go ahead with your address.
13208 Harold Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 4135.
Perfect, thank you very much. And then can I have Karen swear in as well, please?
I do.
All right, please state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
Karen Stewart, KarenStewart, 13208 Harold Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44135.
Okay, thank you both very much. Is there anyone else present for this matter? All right, hearing none, we'll go to history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1967, a permit was issued to erect a steel chain link fence. There are no variances on file. And then in the more recent history, we find that there is a violation issued in 2011 regarding condition of a garage. There was a board up permit issued to the property in 2013, August of 2013. We see that in 2023, April of 2023, rental registration was issued to the property. Also in that month, lead safe certificate was issued, but the lead safe certificate was applied for, but the status states inactive. And that's all that I have that's relevant. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Legal, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance and an area variance from the minimum distance requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship, particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of property rights, and the granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by their land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right, thank you very much. I will now go to the project team. Terry McLean or Karen Stewart, which of you would like to speak first?
I'll be doing the speaking. This is
Okay,
Terry.
perfect. Go ahead, Terry.
Question, please. I was unfortunately a little bit late on sending in some examples or attachments, and I'm trying to see if you guys received them and was it accepted. It was due by noon on Thursday, I believe. I got it in at like 12:50. So I don't know if you have those or not.
Okay, let us check.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, this is Xavier Bay. I do not have the materials from the applicant. All I have for this case are the floor plans that you see on the screen.
Okay, so Terry, it looks like we do not have your materials at this time. We only have what's shown on the screen. Do you want to proceed without the materials, or would you like to try this again on a later date?
I believe I can talk through it. I mean, it was only a map of from one house to the other. The primary issue was you all were saying that it's within 1,000 feet of another group home. Well, first, the other group home is mine, is ours, I should say, excuse me. And then secondly, the distance between 1469, that's the one that was in question. And then the other group home is at 11407 Itasca. And again, both of those properties are ours, but I wish you had it, but from 1469, you have to travel north to get to a street called Kelton, and that's approximately 400 feet. Then you have to go west to go down Kelton, another 200 feet. Then you have to travel south up 115, another 250 feet. And then you got to go west again to get to Itasca. That's another 200 feet. So it's approximately, if you travel those distances, the only way you can walk or drive is 1,050 feet. I don't know if you all, considered the distance as a straight line, or do you actually account for the only way that you can travel, meaning up a street or down the street? But the bottom line is, when I took those measurements, not in a straight line, but going, traveling again north, west, south, and then west again to get to the other property, it was 1,050 feet. We are trying to work with veterans because we are close to the VA. And we also work with the Department of Developmental Disability. So those are the clients that may potentially be in either of the homes. But again, we are looking at streets that are essentially 2 streets away, and it's over 1,000 feet if you all consider traveling up and down the street. And so my question is that footage counted in a straight line, or is it counted going up and down the streets?
So it's my understanding that it is calculated in a straight line. I will defer to Mr. Bay for some thoughts on that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Xavier Bay from City Planning. I could actually defer to Shannon Leonard for further clarification, but yes, the measurements taken from parcel line to parcel line in a straight line.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bay. So it sounds like the measurements go in a straight line and not the way that you've measured them. So I guess the point of this, though, we sometimes can grant a variance even though there's a residential facility within that buffer. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your facility? Tell us about your hours of operation, your staffing, who you're going to be serving, and just kind of give us a sense of what the operations will be at the East 116th location, please.
We plan on providing 24-hour staffing. We're looking to, at that location, to have people from the Department of Developmental Disability. Of course, we're gonna, like the rule stated, it'd be 5 or less. The home is a 7-bedroom home, so it's more than big enough, but we'll keep it at 5 or less for the people, 24 hours. And we provide everything from taking them to their appointments. We feed them. The client that we do choose are more self-sufficient, so we don't have to bathe them and things like that. So some of them even have jobs, but we also take them to their day programs, and so we provide a full service. We will provide a full service for this entity.
Okay, and is it a co-ed facility or will you have mixed gender?
No, ma'am, we keep it single gender.
Single gender. Okay, which gender are you serving at this place?
Men.
Okay. All right, any other questions from the board?
Madam Chair, I'd like to ask, I heard 24-hour staffing, but can they elaborate on the number of staff who will be on site? And will they be dispensing any sort of medicine or medication?
Depending on how many people, if it's 5 there, we'd have 2 staffers. If it's anything less than 5, is 1 staffer. And as of now, we do not dispense any medicine. And if we get to that point, then there would be a registered nurse who would come and do that. It wouldn't be, one of the 24-hour staffers that would administer meds.
Okay, and my question would be, how do you intend to ensure safety at your residential facility if this variance is granted?
We have everything from all of our fire extinguishers. All of our staffers are trained in, they have restraint training. They also have CPR and things like that. So everything that you need to qualify for the DODD or any type of a group home type of situations, we require staff to get yearly training and updates on that. So, and then we make sure the home has all of the necessary inspections and all of that kind of stuff done in proper order. So we also check our fire extinguishers yearly. So we keep everything maintained up to the codes and standards of the state and DODD, even if we don't have those people there. So that is our goal. So we're already working and keeping things in that order.
Okay, and what's your security plan?
But we have that posted on the wall along with the evacuation plan and everything. But if it's a police emergency, we call 911 immediately or some type of emergency like that. I guess I need you to elaborate a little bit on your question. If I didn't answer it, I'm sorry.
No, that was responsive. Any other questions
Okay.
from board members?
Yes,
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
Woo, you've got lots of
Go ahead.
questions.
Go ahead, Ms. Roca. I will yield to Ms. Roca. Go ahead.
Welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Faith. Just a few questions. The first being, will the clients share rooms or will each client have a separate room? And my second question is for the appellant to describe the hardship they will face if their variance is not granted today.
All rooms are separate. No clients will share rooms. Again, this home has 7 bedrooms. It will be, if granted, we'll have 5 or less people there. And if the variance is denied, I guess the biggest issue is that we're really, it's our facility that is the closest to. So, we know everything that's going on at both homes, and then B, it's very difficult in that neighborhood to maintain, unless you're doing students, to maintain quality tenants that can support, such a large home. And this is just I don't even want to question this, but you know, a lot of students are living in these houses over there, and just based on me now having to try and get, you know, this code established or this variance done, um, none of these places are registering as group homes. They're kind of just operating that way and not registering that way. And so we want to do it the right way, which is why we came and applied. And we're not trying to be in that battle to catch a student or anything like that. We'd rather, you know, help people who need it, whether it's a veteran or whether it's someone with the DODD. So I can't sit back and honestly tell you that we would be severely injured, but what I am saying is we're trying to do everything the right way and the proper way, and just hoping that you all will consider it, especially since the group home that is closest to is also ran by us.
All right. Thank you for answering those questions. Ms. Faith, you had questions?
I do. I'm interested to know what engagement the appellants have had with council, with the CDC, and with the community. I know that there's new construction across the street, and I'm wondering if they've had any engagement with the neighbors.
Yes, we talk to our neighbors all the time. We actually on that in particular street have 5 homes. So we work with our neighbors all the time. We did reach out to Mr. Conwell when he called back. I missed his call, but we have been texting back and forth, and I can't say that he gave me a 100% yes, but we have a very good relationship with him and feel confident that if he was here, he wouldn't have an issue with it. But to answer your question directly, yes, we speak with our neighbors on a regular basis. We're also involved with Mr. Conwell on a regular basis, and so yes. Hope that answers
So
your question.
when you say you have other homes on the street, this is in addition, in addition to the actual group homes you have?
Yes, ma'am.
They're rental properties then?
We still are in the process of getting them rehabbed. We haven't finished rehabbing them yet.
Okay, all right. And in the view that was on Google Maps, the driveway was in gravel. What's the condition of the site now?
Now, see, that's the question that we've been kind of battling with the city on, because we're not sure if that driveway in that space is ours. That if you, I don't know if you can see if you're looking at Google Maps now, but that lot was up for sale from the county, and we tried to acquire it and was unfortunately told no.
Okay.
And then we asked about that driveway, and they told us we'd have to get a survey done, and it was very expensive to have that person come out, and we didn't do it. And so right now that's a lot that has a sign. Well, they actually took the sign down, but I believe it's owned by the county, and I believe that driveway is theirs. I don't think it's ours. But yes, it's still gravel in that whole lot, as well as that driveway.
It looks to me like it might be a shared driveway, but you answered one of my other questions, is that you have not had a professional survey done, so you don't know where your boundary lines are. And so if you
Correct,
were to
yeah.
put up a fence or anything, you wouldn't really know where your lot line was.
Yeah, we're hoping that in this coming year we'll have the extra funds to get that survey done, because on that street there are a lot of shared driveways, and we have that issue with at least 2 other of the homes that we have on that street that we need to really know what's where and things like that. And during some of my research, I know there's been a couple easements and things like that. So there is some information that we do need to find out. It's just a little bit expensive for us now, but we will be acquiring that information here soon, this year for sure.
Okay. And to Ms. Kukla, we have no correspondence from council or the CDC on this?
Madam Chair, to Ms. Faith's question, no, we do not have any letters either way.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from board?
Madam Chair, just one last question. I want to make sure that I have my notes correct. The appellant is attesting to also being the owner of the other residential facility on Itasca.
Yes.
Okay. And can you share a little bit more about the population served by the residential facility on Itasca?
We don't have any a population in there right now. We don't. It's empty at the moment.
Thank you.
But again, our plan is for veterans for the DODD. We're trying to help people that that needs to go to their appointments that's close. We're working on our transportation licenses and different things like that as well. So this way we can just drive them less than half a mile and back from that to and from their appointments. But currently, no, we don't have a population in there that we're serving.
All right, any further questions from the board? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Madam
Oh,
Chair.
wait, I'm sorry. I didn't get an opinion from city planning.
Excuse me,
Thank you.
Madam Chair. Thank you. Hi, my name is Xavier Bay, representing city planning. I also see that the neighborhood planner, Ariel Washington, is online. I'll just state, typically, we don't support new established residential facilities within the 1,000-foot buffer of existing ones, really to to safeguard the neighborhood from getting oversaturated by these facilities, as it is a neighborhood that's in a residential context. As the applicant did mention, they are relatively close to the VA, so I'll just state that for your consideration. Typically, we wouldn't recommend approval for facilities of this nature if they aren't close enough in proximity to other health institutions. I'll let Ariel chime in on any other comments she may have.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My comments are the same. I would object because it's within the 1,000-foot buffer. I would also wait to hear from the council person. I have not spoken with this applicant, and those are my thoughts.
Okay, thank you so much, Ariel. Based on that, do we have any additional questions from the board?
Madam Chair, to Mr. Bay, I just would ask that, based on a comment that the appellant made, that student housing might be considered a group home, if you could clarify the difference between student housing and group homes, and for the appellant, please.
Yes, Madam Chair. Yes, through the chair to Ms. Faith.
Thank you.
I would actually defer this question to Shannon Leonard for zoning specifics, as she is the zoning administrator. But I'll just mention that a home that houses several students would be more of a residential use, and so those if you're housing more than two roomers or boarders in this zoning district, that use is first permissible in a multifamily zoning district, is what I meant to say. But I'll defer to Shannon Leonard. I see she's online.
Good morning. Can you re-ask the question that you're asking?
Correct, Ms. Leonard. The appellant made a comment that he's looking to do a group home, and he feels that other homes in the area that are housing students might be considered group homes, but are not, have not sought the necessary variances or approval for that. So I just was asking if we clarify for him the difference between student housing and group homes.
Yeah, okay, good morning, Madam Chair, Shannon Leonard, Chief Zoning Administrator. So when you have student housing, say students renting out rooms from the landlord in a single dwelling unit or a two-family dwelling unit, that's considered more as a rooming house. And that is first permitted in multifamily unless they might have sought a variance through this board, or they're located in a multifamily district. Whereas a group home, if it's a state licensed class 2 residential facility, that's housing, people that are getting some type of state funding or something of that sort, and is being ran as a business And is providing some type of social services. And they're listed as a state license class 2 under the state. There is the residential facility buffer, and the purpose of that is that the idea is that the reason why there's a buffer between those is the purpose behind the state is to bring people out of institutions that have disabilities or developmental disabilities, mental health disabilities, and bring them into the neighborhood so they can integrate into the community along with other residential neighbors and single, two-family, multifamily neighborhoods. And then on the alternative, the city put in the 1,000-foot buffer because in some neighborhoods we have noticed that there's a lot of these homes, and then essentially you get rid of the idea that this is institutional because the idea is to have some type of separation so that they maintain the residential character versus the institutional nature. So it's a twofold. But the student housing is essentially those are classified and defined differently, not only by the city but also by the state.
Thank you so much, Ms. Leonard, for that clarification. Any additional questions based on that, board?
Not on that, Madam Chair, but I do want to pose a question to the appellant. It sounds like based on Ms. Washington's testimony that she has not spoken to you and you have not had any communications with the city and had very little communications with the council person and in your area. Do you have an interest in allowing more time to work with the city on your proposal?
That would be awesome, and I appreciate you bringing that option up. Yes, if possible, if I could have a little more time to speak with the city and get with Mr. Conway, also, I can maybe present more information or anything that would sway one's vote towards a yes. I would really appreciate that and for open suggestion.
Madam
Okay,
Chair,
so
the fact that we don't have the documents that he submitted because they were submitted late and that he has not met with the city planner, and he has a desire to postpone, I would be open to allowing him to have more time.
okay. I mean, given that we've taken testimony, I would be inclined to take a vote. Is there anyone who is willing to put forward a motion? We can make it conditional on community meetings or contact with the council person just to keep this moving.
Madam Chair, I'm willing to make the motion, and I do agree. I think since we've had testimony, if there's a condition that we can place, just pending confirmation that he's been able to engage some of the community stakeholders and engage with the city council member and feedback on that. I think
Okay.
that would be okay. So through you, Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to approve calendar number 24-2114.
Okay, is there a second for the motion?
Should I make the condition? I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Motion to approve calendar number 24-214 with the conditional request that the appellant confirm support and engagement with our city planning representative as well as with the city council member.
Board
Okay.
Member, I'll second.
All right, can we call the vote?
No.
I'm sorry, did you call me Liz? I can't hear you.
I apologize. Ms. Bate,
No for me.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Mr. Madison,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
The calendar number 24-214 is granted conditionally. We will hold ratification until the appellant has brought proof to the board that he has acquired support from the council person and support from the city planning neighborhood planner. Am I missing anything, board?
Nope, that's it.
Once we receive those items, we'll ratify the case and send the appellant a letter.
All right, that concludes this matter. Terry, you can feel free to reach out, send an email if you have any questions, but do go ahead and get that community engagement and speak with the councilman and circle back to let us know that that is done. And once you do that, we'll move forward with approving and ratifying your variance. Is that clear?
That is very clear. May I just ask one quick question? Thank you
Sure.
so much for your time. The young lady from city planning that objected initially, I just wanted to know her name so I can maybe reach out to her and get her the information that would help
Absolutely.
to support.
Yes, her name is Ariel Washington.
Ariel Washington, and she's in city planning.
She is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sure I can look it up from there. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your time.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. We're going to move now to calendar number 24-215. Do we have an appellate present for this matter? All right, this is at 672 East 126th Street. Looks like the property owner is Elgina Garrett. Are you present today? Do you see anything online, Mr. Bay?
Madam Chair, I do not see any activity in the WebEx participants panel. I'll also note, I don't see any participants from the public, only city staff and board members.
Okay, looks like we don't have an appellant. Do we want to continue this to another date?
Madam Chair, generally in these cases, we would dismiss the case
Okay,
due to the appellant's absence and no contact with our office.
absolutely.
The appellant will have some time to request a
rehearing.
reinstatement.
Okay.
We do send them a letter letting them know that it has been dismissed due to the action. And so, again, that's usually what we do, and it is, of course, up to the board.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Madam Chair, motion to dismiss calendar number 24-215.
Okay, is there a second?
Board Member
Second.
Ruka. Oh, go ahead, Ms. Faith.
I second the motion.
All right, let's call the vote.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Calendar number 24-215 is dismissed. We will send the appellant a letter. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our matters for today. We'll now move on to old business. All right, it looks like we have numbers 3 through 5. Any objection?
No objection.
No objection.
No objection.
All right, all of those are passed without objection. And we have no other upcoming postponements, so that concludes our old business. It is now 10:26 and we will adjourn the meeting. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.